There is a creature smaller than a grain of sand that has survived 5 mass extinctions. It is called the tardigrade, though most people have never heard its name. Under a microscope, it looks almost comical. A plump little body with 8 stubby legs. Scientists nicknamed it the water bear because of the way it lumbers when it walks. Others call it the moss piglet for the damp moss where it is often found. But behind the charming nickname is one of the toughest organisms ever discovered. Tardigrades have existed on Earth for over 500 million years. They were crawling through ancient seas long before dinosaurs ever existed. They watched continents drift, oceans rise, and entire species vanish, and through every catastrophe, they simply kept surviving. Their secret is a process called cryptobiosis, a state of near-total suspended life. When conditions turn hostile, a tardigrade can shut down almost everything that makes it alive. Its metabolism drops to less than 1% of normal. Its body loses almost all of its water content. It curls into a tiny dried ball called a ton. In this state, it is neither fully alive nor fully dead. It simply waits, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades. Then, when water returns, something remarkable happens. The tardigrade slowly rehydrates and its body begins to move again. Within hours, it is walking, eating, and behaving as if no time had passed at all. Researchers have revived tardigrades from moss samples that were dried out for over a decade. Some specimens have even been revived after being frozen for more than 30 years. This alone would make the tardigrade extraordinary, but its resilience does not stop at drought or cold. Tardigrades can survive temperatures as low as nearly absolute zero. They can also survive temperatures well above the boiling point of water. They can withstand pressures 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench on Earth. They can also endure the near-total vacuum of outer space. In 2007, scientists ran an experiment that seemed almost impossible. They packed thousands of tardigrades into a small capsule and launched them into orbit. The capsule was open to the vacuum of space itself. The creatures were exposed to 0 atmospheric pressure and freezing cold. They were also bombarded with intense solar and cosmic radiation. No protective shielding, no oxygen, nothing but raw space around their tiny bodies. For 10 days, they drifted in orbit exposed to conditions no human could survive for even a second. When the capsule returned to Earth, scientists examined the tardigrades under a microscope. Some of them were moving. Some of them had even survived well enough to reproduce afterward. It became the first known animal to survive the vacuum of space and live. The discovery stunned the scientific community. It forced researchers to reconsider what the limits of life truly are. How could something so small endure something so violent? The answer lies deep inside its cells. Tardigrades produce a unique protein that scientists named Dsup, short for damage suppressor. This protein wraps around the tardigrade's DNA like a protective shield. It helps prevent radiation and dehydration from tearing the genetic code apart. Without this shield, the same exposure would shred the DNA of almost any other organism. Tardigrades also produce sugar-like molecules that replace the water inside their cells. This process, called vitrification, turns their insides into a glass-like protective state. In this glassy form, their cellular structures stay intact even without any moisture at all. It is one of the most advanced biological survival systems ever found in nature, and it evolved in a creature barely 0.5 millimeter long. Tardigrades live almost everywhere on the planet, not just in remote extremes. They can be found in the deepest ocean trenches. They can be found frozen in Antarctic ice. They can be found on the highest mountain peaks in the Himalayas. They can even be found in the moss growing on a rooftop in any city. There are more than 1,000 known species of tardigrade, each one adapted slightly differently to its own environment. Yet all of them share this same extraordinary capacity for near indestructible survival. Because of this, scientists study tardigrades to understand the outer boundaries of life itself. Their biology offers clues about how life might survive on other worlds. Some researchers believe tardigrade-like resilience could inform future long-duration space missions. Their protective proteins are even being studied for possible medical applications. Scientists hope to one day use similar mechanisms to protect human cells from radiation damage. It is a strange thought that something so small might help protect something as fragile as us. In 2019, an Israeli lunar lander called Beresheet crashed onto the surface of the moon. On board was a capsule containing thousands of dehydrated tardigrades in cryptobiosis. Whether any of them survived the crash remains uncertain to this day, but their mere presence on the lunar surface raised extraordinary questions. Could a creature like this endure even there, in that airless, radiation-soaked world? Could something born in Earth's ancient oceans one day help humanity survive somewhere else? The tardigrade offers no answers, only quiet evidence of what life can endure. It does not seek attention, and it does not need to be admired. It simply exists, drifting through moss, ice, and orbit alike. Indifferent to catastrophe, indifferent to time itself. While civilizations rise and fall, the water bear continues on, unaffected. It survived long before humans existed, and it will likely survive long after we are gone. In its tiny, unassuming body lies a lesson about resilience, written across 500 million years. The tardigrade does not conquer the impossible, it simply refuses to notice it exists.